To get the best test coverage for your board, the system needs to test non-JTAG devices by using aspects of their functionality to check for open circuits. The scripts that run those tests form part of what are called test device files, and it's those files that this series of videos will concentrate on. The devices on your board become associated with these files during the categorization process. A test device file gives XJDeveloper all the information it needs to be able to control the device, things like its pinout, as well as necessary parameters such as memory size. It does more than just hold a test routine. A test device file can be used for something simple, like an LED, but can equally well be used for an IC, such as a memory, an ADC, or some type of transceiver. The file is specific to a particular device type, irrespective of how it's being used. If you've got lots of the same part on a board, they'll all be associated with the same file. One of the many great things about XJDeveloper is that it comes with an extensive library that includes most flashes and RAMs, thousands of SPI and I2C devices, and all sorts of other ICs. In many cases, you just assign one of those library files, but sometimes you may need to create a new test device file or edit an existing one. If you want to see all the test device files that are available rather than just the ones used in your project, you can open the library browser from the Tools menu. If you select the Categories view, you'll see them all grouped by type. Test device files are identified by this icon, and you'll see there are files for many different devices. This other icon is used for what are known as additional code files. They contain functions that can be called by a test device file and are typically used for common code required by many files. For instance, a function that handles I2C transactions, or one that generates a checksum. Those can be very useful if you're writing your own code because you can call those functions and save a lot of effort. You'll see more about them in the 6th video in this series. The files used in your project are found on the Test Device Files screen. On the left is a list of the files being used and which device uses them. And note this hierarchical structure. These are some of the additional code files I mentioned, which hold the common functions. This is an I2C ADC, and it requires mathematical functions as well as those that operate the bus. Math.xje contains many useful functions, allowing you to do things like finding the lowest or highest of two integers, dealing with different number formats, such as 2's complement, and performing common conversions. You can open a device file by double-clicking its name. Its contents then appear on the right. If it's a test device file you've opened, the top half will show the code for the functions. Below it, you have details of the device's pins, and in these other tabs, additional data about the device and how it's being used. We'll look at some of those later in this series. So, with that introduction, we're ready to get into the detail of a test device file. We'll start that in the next video, so I'll see you there.